I'm Scott, and this is episode 20 of What Makes This Map Great. This is the series where we take a deep dive into some classic games that hold a special place in my gaming heart. We're going to explore their amazing level design, beautiful art, creative combat encounters, as well as uncover their hidden secrets and see just how much they've influenced the gaming world. And in this episode, we're covering Quake E4M1, the Sewage System. All sources used for this video will be linked down in the description below. Huge thank you for getting me over 400 subscribers in this last weekend. It's amazing. So thanks so much. Let's go for 500, all right? I would love it if we could hit that before March. Anyhow, like, sub, do all the YouTube stuff. It's greatly appreciated. Let's get into it. The Sewage System is the first map of Episode 4, the Netherworld for Quake. This is a special military base map. All the prior maps were designed by John Romero, but this one is provided to us by the talented Tim Willits. It's also the last map we'll see made by him for Quake, so adios for now, Tim. As the name implies, we'll be traversing through flooded tunnels and water reservoirs, as well as several rooms and walkways above these water regions. For first-timers, drowning can be a real threat, as the water tunnels are fairly complex to navigate, but Tim made sure to put some hints, so we'll make sure to cover those in this episode. The entire map actually is quite complicated in design. There's lots of overlapping and looping sections, which is actually really impressive. As typical for military bases in Quake, you can expect the usual monster suspects. We've got grunts, enforcers, and Rottweilers. Hope you brought your swimsuit because you'll be spending a lot of time underwater. To give some context for this point of the player experience in Quake, it all started at the Slipgate complex, a military base that is home to a machine capable of dimensional travel known as the Slipgate. An evil entity codenamed Quake sends its own forces through from the other side, defeating and turning all soldiers into mindless grunts. Ranger, the lone marine played by you, fights their way through with a mission to defeat this evil force and put an end to Quake. You step through the Slipgate and enter the dimension of the Doomed, a realm that is home to old haunted castles and dark underground caverns with monsters beyond our understanding. After conquering every obstacle, Ranger defeats Cathan, the realm's guardian, and obtains the Rune of Earth Magic. He discovers that a rune of magical power awaits him at the conclusion of each of Quake's haunted lands. Ranger then proceeds to the realm of black magic, where his fight continues through decaying castles, dark crypts, and ominous mansions. Nothing can stop him. He destroys the Vor Sisters and acquires the Rune of Black Magic. The rune whispers dark thoughts into your brain and reveals that the Hell Mother, Shub-Niggurath, is behind all of this. You also learn that once armed with all 4 runes, the gate to Shub-Niggurath's pit will open, and you can face the witch goddess herself in her frightful otherworld cathedral. Ranger continues his mission, travels through the next Slipgate in search of the 3rd rune in the Netherworld, a dark and barren place full of vaults and tombs, primal fear in a strange dimension. Surviving horrors of the chambers of torment, you grasp the rune of hell magic. Its terrible secrets blight your mind. Gathering the shreds of your courage, you become ever more determined to destroy the hideous creatures whose mere existence threatens the souls and psyches of all the population of Earth. With one more rune left to collect, Ranger searches for the 4th Slipgate into the Netherworld, where your worst nightmares come true, which is where our journey takes place. let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right in. We arrive at the sewage system, and kind of an odd starting point, in my opinion. A small enclosed room showcasing that classic id-based texture set. Paneling on either side, the ceiling is covered in wiring and tech, all being held together with a riveted frame. We can hear the chirping of this computer block in the corner as the lighting gently pulses, giving a sense that maybe this tech is waning in power. The chute here leads down into the proper portion of the military base, which has a network of water tunnels and reservoirs. I wonder if this is maybe a waste dumping point for personnel here. Just teleport the waste into this room and dump it down the chute. Well, we'll be taking a dive down this chute as we're on a mission for the final slipgate, which is hidden deep within this military base. Now, this is what I'm talking about. A dramatic entrance to this sewage base. We drop into the water and are presented with a platform and health. All around us are large tunnels begging to be explored. As a new player, we probably panic for some air and surface first to get out of the water and get our bearings. This central room offers a glimpse of multiple levels, entryways, and halls. So many options. And the use of the rivet trim texture along edges of platforms, doorways, and the support beams is a nice attention to detail. Well, let's drop in and see some action. Grab the shotgun shells. We'll need the ammo. Dive in. We've alerted a grunt. Swim up, take him out. Second joins the fight, and it quickly ends. Oh, one more. Spray it with shotgun. It's somewhat safe here. Let's take a moment and break this area down. To our right is a tunnel. A grunt guards this waterway. Seems important. This floodgate is closed. We'll open this gate later in the level. Exploring the other two walkways leads to a much bigger open space. Either way you take, the walkway loops around and connects to itself, eventually leading up a ramp to a gold key card door. And just above it, we can see the gold key card needed to open it. The balcony above is quite enticing. Even a nail gun can be seen on the same level. I'd also add that the blue sky coming through this rafter system really draws the eye from down below. Great contrast to the brown palette below it. Quite the combat encounter here. Lots of grunts, and a couple have higher ground. Luckily, they're easy, and regulations for radiation barrel placements are quite loose at this base. Grunt takes a peek, he's down. Gold door guard explodes. Oh, nobody shoots me for free. And it's clear for now. You need the gold key card. I think it's about time to explore the waterways. So, just to showcase, you have quite a bit of freedom to swim and explore, except for this floodgate, which is closed, and this floodgate. So that leaves us with two tunnels. We have one near the platform where we drop down from, and we have this other one just below to the right of the gold door, which both lead to the same space. These red arrows, that's Tim's way of telling us we're going the right way. Following them, we activate a lift that pulls us out of the water. Move off it quickly at the top, otherwise you'll end up back in the drink. and check this space out. I like how this bridge is held up by this supporting structure. Bright yellow light fixtures illuminate the way. And this section below it, outside of a few pickups, it's not required to jump down. But if you take the time, it really sells this place as being some kind of sewage treatment military base. Another tunnel shape that is shut with a grate, but also an additional grate on the level below with the patrolling grunt, next to some computer interfaces. For 1996, this felt pretty believable. Maybe with some help from your imagination as well. As for the combat in this encounter, having multiple levels with enemies that use hit scan will chip away at your health, let alone the enforcers who will try to zap you with their blasters. Maybe you noticed something too. A shape similar to nail shooter traps in prior maps. To add a layer of challenge, Tim has placed a trap. Once you cross an invisible trigger at the start of the bridge, laser shooters across the way will fire. Pay attention to the pattern of its shots, and you can avoid taking damage. But before crossing the bridge, we also have our first secret here. See this small digital panel on this part of the wall? Shoot it, you found a secret. Quad and yellow armor. And this quad is quite useful. Quick strobe warning here. The next short hallway has some blinking lights. Just want to look out for those of you sensitive to strobing lights to look away. I'll signify when it's safe to look again. So you'll want to rush across this bridge and take out anything in your way. And also make sure to turn around once you clear the hallway, because one sneaky enforcer teleports behind us on the bridge. Gotta get all the kills. And that's the end of our strobe warning. The strobe hallway section is over. You find yourself at the nail gun and gold key card, with that beautiful rafter system above providing some fresh air. Make sure to grab everything you need before jumping down and proceeding through the gold door. Well, we haven't put this to action in a while, so let's run through it. Dive into the water. Let's get a breath here. Follow the arrows. As the lift takes us out of the water, explode the rad barrels and grab the supplies while dealing with immediate threats. Hop back on the lift. Grunt down, let's grab that quad. Shoddy full of quad, turning these enemies into giblets. Don't forget about that one enforcer behind us. Grab the nail gun, supplies, and gold key card. Let's take a short break from this quad rampage to go over the next section of the map. Opening the gold door, a grunt greets us. And just around the corner is a long hallway. The suspended lamps overhead are a nice touch, lighting the way and leading our eye up. I love how the ceiling uses this metal tech texture, and it's once again separated from the standard military paneling with that rivet trim texture. There's also a monster closet trap here. Once you cross this turn, the wall opens behind you, releasing 3 Rottweilers. Bad doggies. They'll be chasing your tail. The walkway is also suspended above a water reservoir. Great way to add layering here. And speaking of layering, a balcony up and to our left has more grunts, as well as a mega health and another quad damage pickup. A hint to our second secret. See this blinking light? We utilize one of Quake's movement techs here, a ramp jump. If you time your jump at the peak of the ramp, you'll gain extra height and bump the light fixture with your head. Yeah, we've got Mario tech in Quake. A door opens to our left. You found a secret, giving you access to the quad and mega health. Fresh on quad, we'll do another rampage from here, continuing down the hall into this upper balcony room, which should look familiar. This is where we drop down in that starting area. So many layers, I love it. And this balcony is significant. An enforcer guards an important button. As we can see, the red arrows direct you down below this space. You have opened the floodgates. We no-clip directly below, and it's the floodgates that were shut earlier. Okay, back to our regularly programmed quad rampage. I'll let our nail gun do most of the talking here. This enforcer surprised me more than the Rottweilers. Press the button. The Shadow Grunt just had a bad day. Through the water, let's follow these arrows. That's Tim hinting us the way forward. Emerge from the water. Clear the room. Beautiful. Feels like we discovered some kind of secret military base in this water reservoir. This small squad of enforcers and a grunt stand guard of this red button. Next to it, you'll notice a red arrow pointing down. We just experienced this familiar visual language earlier. Taking a dip into the water, there's another barrier that is shut and blocks our way forward. But before we hit that button, we'll want to explore everything this space offers. To the right is a staircase leading up. We find another death squad, and they're not only guarding a biosuit and supplies, but we can catch a glimpse of our slipgate to the Elder World. There are only a few spots in this entire map where we catch a glimpse of the sky, and it's at locations of importance each time. A nice repeating design theme. And lastly, before we get back to some more action, we have another secret in this space. Returning down the stairs, you'll notice a red glowing target above the doorway. Shoot it, and a section of wall by the red button lowers, revealing a teleporter and some nail ammo. Just make sure you press the red button before going through, as we'll want to maximize our biosuit for this final push through the map. Back to it then. Let's press the red button now, since we're here. Take down the enforcer and grunts guarding the biosuit. Biosuit on, shoot the target, and we'll go through the teleporter. We're back at the start. Oops. Almost left the grunt alive. Proceed back through the water gate and follow the arrows. The second barrier is now open. Proceed on. This underwater reservoir space is huge. Lights turn on as you enter it. A nice dramatic touch, especially if you're swimming here without the biosuit. Swimming through will trigger a trap, dropping 2 grunts down in the water with us. This is also a clue to our final secret. Looking up from where they dropped, you'll see a section where you can surface. You found a secret, giving us supplies and a chance to get some air. On a side note, this specific rusted metal texture doesn't get a whole lot of use in Quake. I think it works well in this underwater space. Jump back in the water. To get our bearings again, We have a red arrow pointing to this tunnel with the blinking light. Out of the water, we get the jump on these mad guards. And here we are. We found the slipgate deep within these sewage tunnels. I love the way this space is built. There's piping and metal tech layered on the walls, with rusted metal bars wrapping around the upper area. The slipgate hums, exhausting heat and energy. We get one final look of Earth's sky above as we steel ourselves to venture into the Elderworld dimension. We step in. Score screen here, showing off the wonderful layering going on in the starting shoot room. Proceeding, we find ourselves in the Tower of Despair. I know that the base levels serve as openers for each episode, but the second levels are the true openers to each respective dimension, in my opinion. And this one is no slouch. The Tower of Despair is an amazing map, one we'll make sure to cover in a future video. So here's the part where we go over some quick trivia regarding our featured map. There wasn't a whole lot I could find, but here's what I got. This level was referred as Tim 9 during the development of Quake. This might signify that it was the 9th map Tim worked on while developing the game. There is a really cool skip on this map. Early on, you can spot the gold key on an upper balcony right next to the gold key door. From there, a speedrunning tactic is to time your jump and blow up the radiation barrels in front of the door, which will give you a boost up to that upper balcony where the gold key is. In the N64 version of Quake, this map doesn't appear at all in the campaign. When you complete E4M1, the Chambers of Torment, instead of going back to the introduction map where you select your episode, or even E4M1, the Sewage System, you go straight to E4M2, the Tower of Despair. And you also get to keep your arsenal, which really changes the gameplay experience, in my opinion. Normally, the Tower of Despair is a bit of a challenge because you start the level with only a shotgun and a standard nail gun. So, what makes E4M1, the Sewage System, a great map? Layering and complexity. The level constantly loops back on itself, offering glimpses of areas that the player has already been or will soon visit. Some examples are like the balcony with the gold key card, or the final slipgate room that's visible from the upper area. This makes the space feel dense and detailed, selling the idea of this deep, complex, mysterious military base. Visual guidance. Being a somewhat complicated map, it's actually made kind of easy through the use of visual language. The red arrows that are near water tunnels helps guide the player in the right direction, or even the arrows next to buttons help signify the direction of a floodgate that you just opened. These arrows help guide the player through somewhat confusing underwater sections, and considering back in the mid-90s, navigating a fully three-dimensional space in all directions was a little bit jarring for first-timers. So those arrows really transform tricky navigation into this exciting journey, so long as you've got enough air to avoid drowning, which that alone actually adds a level of tension while traversing these underwater spaces. Environmental art, the use of details like the riveted trim textures, technical paneling, computer blocks, and the presence of the rusted metal texture in the water reservoir areas, it all works together to create a convincing atmospheric setting. Even the use of lighting helps not only set the mood of this environment, this dangerous military base, but it can also serve as a way to guide and direct the player in the right direction. Combat and traps. Tim Willits uses the multi-level architecture to create dynamic combat encounters, with enemies often having the height advantage on you. The addition of hidden traps like the laser shooter on the bridge, or even the monster closet with the Rottweilers, adds challenge and surprise to the familiar enemy encounters of military bases, grunts and enforcers, and Rottweilers. The nail gun also really turns the tide, giving the player a power fantasy, being able to mow down through your opponents quickly, much faster than the standard starting shotgun could. And then secrets and exploration. The secrets, like the quad damage and the yellow armor, or even the quad damage with the mega health. These are powerful finds. They're integrated into the environment using visual hints like the blinking light fixture above or small panels that you can shoot on the wall. This encourages exploration through these environments and rewards the player immensely. The biosuit at the end is also a well-placed secret, as the swim from that space through the large water reservoir sections to the end is usually a long one and can result in some drowning. Tim Willits once again flexes his mastery as a map designer. The Sewage System is a wonderful level design that combines complicated layering and complexity with multi-leveled combat that gets amplified through powerful secrets, making it a great final military base level right before diving into the Netherworld. What are your thoughts on E4M1, the Sewage System? How well were you able to navigate the underwater tunnels your first time through? And was this the first time that you experienced the extra height from performing a ramp jump? Share your stories down in the comment section. I'd love to hear them. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, share it with friends, and subscribe for more Grit Gaming content. And if you're looking for more, check out this recommended video right here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.